everybody, it's Lindy Tate from Taterbuggin'. Y'all come on in and let's chat today. I want to talk to you about art journaling today. I had to switch gears pretty quickly and we'll talk about that too. If you're watching on replay, comment #replay. Let me know you're here. If you're watching on YouTube, will you drop me a like and a comment? That would be awesome. We're trying to get ourselves going on YouTube and get to where we can go live there too. Hey everybody, it's Lindy Tate. Sorry. Hey, everybody's coming on in. Hey Cindy. Hey Cindy. So happy you're here. Hey Sharon and Carol and hey Melissa and Rose. Let me drop this link for y'all real quick right there. Take care of business. Hi Wanda. Let's do that. Wait for it to pop up so I can pin it. Hey, Leona. Or howdy. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Right there. Pin. Okay, that's business taken care of there. Okay, hey, Terry and Mary Sue. Bobby from Mississippi Gulf Coast. Hey, Penny. Hey, Angela and Sherry and Tammy. Lorianne, oh, I'm so happy my friends are coming on in. Hey, Rita and Linda. We've got stuff to talk about. Hey, Betty, how you doing? There's Jerry from Spring, Texas. Hey, Karen. Oh, how are you doing, sweet friend? Oh, thank you, Dawn. Thank you. Opa, you be careful driving in the car. That's so sweet, Dawn. Hey, Benita and Judy and Charlotte. Oh, thanks for tossing those taters. Hey, Linda and Deb. It's cold and rainy here in Florida. Is it really, Charlene? We got sunshine here in Tennessee. Thank you for sprinkling, Judy. Hey, Pat. So I've got on, it's Valentine's week, right? Well, almost. What is it? It's Monday next week. So this is the first of my new Bell Lily shipment that came in not too long ago. And, you know, I don't know, but I think I could wear this year round. This is kind of fun. I wanted one real Valentine's-y looking shirt. So, Judy Zeppa, thank you so much for those stars. Hi, Robbie and Marcia. But let me tell y'all what I did. This afternoon, I did the haul video. You know, I asked y'all if you would like for me to do a try-on video of everything I got in my Bell Lily order, and you said yes. So I did it. So I'll be posting that sometime after the live today, both here and on YouTube. And let me tell you this too. Oh, good, Linda. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Yay. And if you do like this shirt, there is a discount code and a link to it, to everything that I got this shipment pinned in the comments. Yes, it is, Teresa. This is Bell Lily. And I tried on everything for the very first time in front of the camera for y'all this afternoon. That's why my hair's a mess, trying on 12 or 13 different things over your hair. So, hey, Cindy and Judy and Jody. And every one of them fit, and I love every one of them. Score. So, yeah. Watching from Kenya? Lucy! I think you're the first person I've ever had watch from Kenya. That is awesome. Are you new here? Let us know. We'd love to welcome you. Okay. Y'all are showing out about the mugs. Let me tell you. We have Portland, Oregon. This is thanks to Debbie Torres. So Portland, Oregon is now represented. Luann McLam sent me or brought me North Carolina. She actually lives here in Bartlett, but she's from North Carolina and travels back and forth a lot. So she got me this cute North Carolina mug. Isn't that cute? And Becky Hutto, I hope I'm saying that right, Becky, sent me Florida. So we got Florida represented too. All my sweet tater bugs are just, we're representing all the states. Look at that pretty pink color. So right over in this area, see, we've got that little space between our bedroom door to the studio and the pretty buffet. So he's gonna do, oh, Lee, you're so sweet. Thank you for saying that. You know, you all sent me that cute shelf that's just like 1 mug wide. Well, he's gonna do it 2 mugs wide because we never dreamed. I mean, we're up to what? I think I've counted 12. No, we've got 13. 13 now. But we've got Canada too. But let me show y'all. Trisha came Sunday, you know, and we went and got a Starbucks. I've never seen one of these before. So I got myself a Memphis one. Look at that with that pretty gray inside. I didn't know they had I'd seen Tennessee ones. I don't have Tennessee, but I had never seen Memphis. Isn't that cool? So anyway, thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for jumping on this crazy little thing with me. It excites me so much. I cannot even tell you. Oh yeah, Lori, yeah, I've got this cute, and they're apparently all different color combos. I never knew. I just really didn't know. So, hey Phyllis. But anyway, so onward and upward, let's talk. When Elizabeth couldn't come today, and I'm sad because I was looking forward to seeing my friend, and I even asked Lee if she wanted to come today since Elizabeth was coming, but she's trying to catch up on work too. So then Elizabeth had a work meeting come up right at 3 o'clock. So anyway, that didn't happen. So I switched gears, and apparently, hello Jan. Thank you for sprinkling, Teresa. Oh, thank you so much, Lori. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, thank you. Can't stay. Vicky, that's okay. You got your granddaughters. Okay. Well, you know, I was thinking about it. I always have a little bit of quiet time before I go live. And I was thinking about it. And I thought, well, you know, it's weird that's why I asked the Sweet Tater Bugs if anybody be interested in me telling my story. It was Elizabeth Bauer that was talking to, we were texting this weekend, and she suggested it. I had never thought about that before because I didn't know if that'd be interesting to y'all or not, but we're going to do that Thursday because I want to take some notes first, but I just know that I realized Saturday, Sunday, when I was taking some time off and having a real struggle, that it's another transition period for me. And it's interesting to see how God has opened doors and closed doors all the way along my journey. And I had gotten to where I just knew not to get disappointed when this didn't work out because I knew He had another plan for me. So I didn't sweat it too much. And for some reason, I've gotten, ever since, about the past year, taking this new journey of lives and crafting again and getting to know all of you. I guess I'd lost sight of some of that. I just assumed this is the way I'm going, and I am still going this way. But I'm in another transition period, and they are painful, y'all. They are scary and painful. Hey, Darlene. Yes, he is Charlene. Luann, I was just showing him my cute North Carolina mug you gave me. Thank you again. I love it. Hey, Marjorie. But I am on there's a little bit of a shift going on. I don't know yet where it's leading, but for some reason, I think God wants me to talk to you about this journey because you've all said that you want to hear about it. And then Elizabeth couldn't come today, and I kept thinking, oh, what am I going to do? And I had already felt led to talk to y'all about art journaling prior to this. And my dog is snoring under the table if you hear that. So, oh, Phyllis, shall we talk about Chris for just a minute? That kid, who is not a kid anymore, he's a grown man, but Lord, I love him so much. And he just had a ball with you ladies, and I can't thank you enough for loving on my kiddo the way you did. He just enjoyed it so much, and y'all seem to enjoy it so much that I hope he'll do it again. He said he can't do it this Sunday because it's Super Bowl Sunday, and I had forgotten that. But anyway, he'll, I'm sure nobody's going to be watching anybody in the Tater House Sunday. Y'all are going to be watching the Super Bowl, I'm sure. But Moidle's here. Hey, Moidle. Oh, he loves his Aunt Julie too. I'll tell you that. He's a mess. That kid has kept me laughing since the day he was born. He just is so, he's got my dad's sense of humor, and he can tell a story like my dad, and oh my word. So he's a perfect combination of my daddy and Gerald. I can't love him. My heart could just burst. He's just so much fun. And the fact that y'all enjoyed him too just made me so happy. Oh, does he, Linda? He is a hoot. He really is. Anyway, so apparently I'm supposed to talk to y'all, start today, a little bit about this whole journey. I'm not going to touch on the business aspect, but I want to touch on the art journaling aspect of my journey. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to take a little, I know, Moidle, that's what Trish kept saying. We couldn't get him to do that. I don't think there's enough space in the screen for him to do one of those. We'll have to talk about that one day, too. All of the art journaling, hey, Amanda, there's Amanda from Amanda Made. Welcome. And there's Nelda's here. Y'all are still coming on in. Betty, that one got me too. I did not know he was gonna say that. Oh, he's something else. Benita, did you get the picture? What picture, Benita? Let me know. Hey, Kathy. So, art journaling was a big part of this journey. I'll tell you on Thursday how I got started in business 9 years ago, online business, and how all that backstory. I just want to have a timeline kind of going, so I'm not jumping all over the place for that. But art journaling came in between my Ugly Doll, or during my Ugly Dolls business online, and before Tater Buggin'. So that's where this is going to fit into my story. And I hope this is going to be one of those things sort of along the lines of neurographic art that's going to make you think of a new way to start your art journey, if that's something that you're interested in. Some of the directions I'm thinking about going in the new transition, I'm just really wanting to get back to my art a little bit more. So more painting with y'all. I have a lot of a lot of different art supplies that I've collected over the past 10 years. All different mediums. I would love to take some time to introduce some of those to you, and we play with them. And is that something that you find interesting? Hello, Deborah from Alabama. I'm from Alabama too. Oh, Benita, was it one of the screenshots? I'm loving the screenshots y'all caught of him. It's just fantastic. Hey, Francis and Diane. Oh, good, Carol. Good. Did you, Debbie? Yeah, we were not camera ready. I couldn't ask her to go on camera. I wasn't prepared to go live that day. And then Chris said, he felt good and he was ready to do it for y'all. So thank you, Vicki. I want to share some of that with y'all. Again, Elizabeth suggested, why not share some art techniques, because I've kind of been doing that a lot lately. I'm really into the mixed media, and I loved the neurographic art. I love learning about new techniques, and then the ones that resonate with me, I love to bring to y'all. This one started my art journey. This is where I dipped my toe into art without fear, and that's why I was born in Mobile, Deborah. I was born in the hospital that Sookie's in right now. If y'all know our sweet Sookie, and by the way, was that not wonderful Saturday? Oh, I was so happy to see her, and she looked so good, but I kept breathing for her. So yeah, I was born in the hospital she's in right now, Mobile Infirmary. So yeah. But anyway, I started looking into, I don't know how I stumbled on art journaling, probably Pinterest. You can go on my Pinterest boards and you'll see 2 art journaling boards. The first one just got so full, I went on and made a second one of things, any photo that was art journaling that inspired me. So that's where that started. Oh no, Penny, get ready, because, hey, Angela, there's Angela from Warden Home, my sweet friend. Yeah, I am, Tammy. I love Alabama. I spent all my summers in Mobile. I would go back and stay with my aunt that lived down there. I love Mobile. I love Alabama. So, we're just, it's a lot. And I'm going to try to look down here in case y'all have questions to ask about this. Did you do the kisses out of water bottle tops? I did. Oh, did you do the kisses out of water? I haven't seen those. I'll have to see. I'll have to look those up. I don't know about those. I know, Linda. I know it was bittersweet, wasn't it? But she is on her way back to us. Yeah. I do too, Angela. I love it. Those white sand beaches. Woo, I miss them. I honestly believe this was probably part of one of the very first things I saw. I don't know where, I can't remember. It was probably at least 9 years ago. Hey, Lee, there's my friend Lee. I was just telling him that I was, asking you if you could come over today when we thought Elizabeth was going to be here, but you are busy, busy, busy. But she and I are getting together soon. We are. So I saw this thing. I'm different. They're the craziest things just spark me. I don't know why, and I never know what it's going to be. Hey, Sue, you're my neighbor in Cordova. It's called Wreck This Journal. This was a part of my journey where I needed to just loosen up. I wanted to I just, at the time, thought, nobody else is ever going to see this. This is mine. This is the purpose of this exercise, is to kind of free you up. And you break all the rules. When we get a book, you think of taking care of it. I've always taken such good care of books. Obviously now I'm tearing pages out and creating art with them. I still think that's another way of taking care of them and giving them a new purpose. So, this is solely written for you to make a mess of it, literally. You see on my tabs, I fully immersed myself in this. Poke holes in the page using a pencil. Again, this was a time I was not as busy maybe in my life, and I was beginning a journey that I didn't know I was beginning. It told you to crack the spine, add your own page numbers, draw fat and thin lines. That one I haven't done yet. Color the entire page. It just scribble wildly, violently, with reckless abandon. When you have something that... Have me in your pocket, Amanda. Okay, keep me in your pocket. I'll try not to talk so loud, or mute me. I can't tell you how freeing it is for you to have... You remember when you're a kid, or maybe you still do it. You journal. I've always loved to journal. I'm not... I don't do it as often as I should do it now. But it's so wonderful to know that nobody else is going to see it. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Once I got that in my head, and somehow this exercise kind of helped me with that. I had fun just, y'all, that's gum. I'm not even kidding. That's gum. And it's on purpose. You're supposed to do that. So, Janice, it's great. I'm so much better now. And this has all been just a process. I get scared through it until I realize, oh, wait, this is a transition period. Oh, okay, I see where you're taking me now. Let's go. You know, so I'm in the let's go phase right now. And the fact that y'all were willing to take this ride with me and let me share my journey a little bit and be okay with that, y'all are awesome. And I know I probably won't have as many views today. I don't care. I want the people who are supposed to be here and to enjoy it or catch it on replay. And maybe you'll get something out of this like I did. Journals are awesome, yes. You know, you forgotten grocery lists, you just get to, this one really let me be free. It really did. And I worked in it a lot, as you can see. Now, this is the second one that they did along those lines. Same author, Carrie Smith. This is the Manual of Accidents and Mistakes. And it's called Mess. And that's what this whole thing is about. Is, you know, you're making a mess. Some of it has to do with art. But you know nobody else is going to see it. So we get all worried about stuff that we think we're going to get judged on or criticized on. And believe me, from this to what I'm doing now, it's a long haul. Because by the time you do this, you better have a thick skin. And mine's getting thicker by the day. I'm a sensitive person by nature, and I always took things to heart. I'm a people pleaser, but the older you get, the more you realize there's no way to please everybody. And when you put yourself out in front of a few hundred people on a regular basis, either watching you live or on replay, you realize real quick, not everybody's going to like you, and you can't make them like you, and that's okay. Oh, Kimberlyn, that makes me so happy. Diary since she's been in school, always. Yes, it's a journal. Journaling is powerful, and if you're regular about it and consistent, I can go back to my journals through some of the hardest times, and you see Andrew from Scotland. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that, all the way from Scotland. Hey, Gail and Cindy. So lost my train of thought there, but anyway, back to journaling. You see where you were at that time in your life, and you can watch that journey that changed you to what you are now. We're always changing. Hopefully, we're always growing. We're learning. I don't want to ever quit learning. I don't want to quit playing. I don't want to quit laughing. I want to keep exploring, you know, what's inside here that needs to get out. Watch you while I drive home. Okay, Paula, that sounds good. Kathy, there are some people who can't, so art journaling may just be the right thing for you. Or start somewhere like this. You're not really expressing intimate thoughts and details from your brain. You're just freeing yourself. This was a good start for me, to just be free with it and not worry so much. Hey, Rula. So then these took me down. I think that's where the path started, with Pinterest and art journaling. And I realized it didn't have to be just sitting down writing my feelings out every day. That I could take a simple composition book. What are these, 50 cents? They were when I started buying them up just a plain old composition book. You're not out. I mean, you can get those at the Dollar Tree, but I swear I think they're cheaper other places. I found a thing online. Again, this was so long ago, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but it was called Project Life. And it kind of gave you prompts to take a composition journal and you're going to just show your day, talk about your day. Nobody's meant to see this. Again, when I did this, if I had ever thought I was going to show 180 people live this, it would have petrified me. I wouldn't have been able to do it. You start to question yourself. Oh, should that go in there? Oh, well, should I write that? Should I say that? If you know, just tell yourself, nobody else is ever going to see this. Nobody has to see it. You lock them away if you're feeling really that strongly about it, because you need to be free to do this. Hey, Judy. Yeah, there you go, Jana. We're going to go through the gamut of this whole art journaling journey for me. And again, I don't get to do it often anymore. And I realized that in the past couple of weeks. I started doing mixed media with y'all, and it just ignited that spark in me again. And I remembered art journaling. I've got to get back to it. So what better way to do it than with y'all, right? But we've got to have a little cameo from the man. We were talking about Chris earlier.
Who's Chris?
Yeah, who's Chris? Oh, Lee, do you? I'm so excited. I hope some of you this will resonate with you. Hi, Inga, you're new. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Lee, for introducing me to Inga. That's wonderful. I hope you'll enjoy what we do over here. This is a little bit different than what I usually do, but hopefully you'll find it interesting. So this is my husband, Inga. Most everybody else knows Mr. Taterbug, and he cooks on Friday nights. And this past, we may have another spinoff. Our son Chris just cooked Sunday night, so you never know what's going to happen around here.
Say, hey, Mr. T.
Oh, Judy, I hope you're feeling better. Do you need me to scroll back up? Chris is a hoot. How far back up?
I don't. That's all right. Go.
Oh, okay.
I lost it there.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. I see everybody. Janice and hey, Inga, glad to have you.
Lee says, there's that beautiful smile.
Oh, look out.
Yeah, the Tater Tot cooking show. Chris is a mess. He is.
Yep. I don't know where he came from.
Yep.
Well, here.
Apparently for me. But he looks just like him. Yeah, we're talking about...
glad to hear that, Judy.
Yeah, art journaling today. I'm showing them some of my stuff from way back and how I got to where I am now.
Am I in any of those?
You don't know.
I don't know.
He hasn't seen them. He might have. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care.
Hey, everybody. Well, let's see.
Andrew says, what do y'all make to eat in Scotland? We love... Wait, you got...
She's in Scotland. Hey, wow.
That's Andrew. A good... Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash.
Is that something like...
Bangers is...
mashed potatoes and gravy?
I don't know. Tell us what bangers are.
I've heard of it. I just can't...
I have too, but I don't know what it is.
Well, Judy, if y'all have hung around with us enough, you know, we're silly. We laugh all the time. So it was inevitable with Chris, I guess. And my dad, you know, he's a lot like my dad.
Was he the Kmart baby? No. No, I think he was the tequila.
He's going to have to go now.
I got to go now. Glad to see all of y'all. I'm going to leave y'all with it.
Sausage and mash and gravy. Oh,
yeah, okay.
Ooh, yum. I'd like that. Yeah, that sounds good. It's like a big breakfast. Oh, hey, Cusey. Sausage, onions, gravy. A side of mashed potatoes. Ooh, Andrew, that sounds wonderful. One of my other bloggers recently talked about your potato soup. Oh my goodness. That makes me happy. Wonderful. Okay. Little detour there with Mr. coming in. So, Project Life. I'm reliving this with you. I have one of my if you saw my work table, one of my end cubbies, Angela, I have one of my end cubbies is all my art journals. So I just scooped those out. Oh, well, luckily enough, I had written the dates down here. This is September 10th of 2012. So this goes back. This is 10 years ago. I didn't realize it had been that long ago. So I just had a little, I don't know where I cut this piece of paper from, wrote the date and all, and my cup of coffee. Back then, this is my computer screen. I was a medical transcriptionist. And boy, my days were very different. I worked from home. I started that in 2000 and loved my job. Really, really did. Made my own hours. But after 13 years of it, it was slowly transitioning to where the doctors were using voice recognition and all they wanted was editors. And if you've ever tried to talk to Siri, you know what she will spit out. And that's the kind of reports the doctors, they thought it was going to just say exactly what they said. No. We knew their accents. We knew the words. We knew we went to school for quite a while to learn how to do all that. But then they replaced us with machinery. And editing was not where I wanted to go. Luckily, God had my back on that one. And I had already started Ugly Dolls, and by the time I kept going as long as I could until we could afford for me to quit that job for my business. So again, this is just like I said, it's called Project Life. It is nothing. It's a visual journal. What does it say here? The view from my desk. They take turns in the chair. That's when we had our sweet Max, and this is my Petey. And it was, that was September 10th. Took a picture of my lunch. I was eating kale and spinach and tuna. I was very, very healthy back then. I worked out every day. Yes, Barb, it was called Ugly Dolls. UGGLEE. I totally stumbled into that one. We're going to talk about that Thursday too. That's an interesting journey. But my page is still on. The business is closed, but the page is still on Facebook. If you ever want to look at what an ugly doll is. I made them up in my head. Didn't intend to ever sell them. People wanted them. It grew into a business. So anyway, I had also tried a technique on this page with watercolor and salt. That's a fun one. If y'all have never heard of it or tried it, that's something we could try one day. It's a lot of fun. I even had my makeup. I took a picture of the makeup. Apparently I put my makeup on that day. I journaled about going to get my new running shoes at the finish line. Took a little picture of the wall there. I'm not going to bore you with everything in here. You get the picture. This is where, let me show you some of this. This is where some art could come into it, where I was just playing and being very free, letting myself, I was even playing with some lettering. Back then, didn't know that's what I was doing. This is my breakfast smoothie and my workout stats. Different life back then. I'm telling you, I wish I still did that. And then I looked up how to best turn a composition book into an art journal. You actually glue 2 pages together to make them thick. There's a whole process to this. It's very funny, very fun, interesting. Hey, Katana. You know, I swore I couldn't draw a stick figure. And then around 50 years old, 49 to 50, I started going to, I'm going to tell this on Thursday. I get sidetracked. Anyway, a new idea. I painted the pages. You can see it's October. And, 12/8, practicing fun lettering. And then I would write my journaling in white. So I was creating art at the same time I was journaling. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Hey, Darlene, nice to see you too. Now, I had to include these. These are photocopies. I grew up with my paternal grandmother. We lived with her till I was 11, from 3 to 11. Oh, we shared a bedroom. We were so close. I love my mama. Well, after my aunt died, who lived in Mobile, my cousin had me come down there and go through pictures and get whatever I wanted of the pictures. I found pictures that I never had seen in my life. If anybody had told me my paternal grandmother had put on a swimming suit and got in the ocean, I just said, nope, you must be talking about the wrong person, because that's not my grandmother. I mean, she wouldn't do that. Lo and behold, look at her. Got in an inner tube. These pictures, look at this bottom picture, made me so happy that I actually framed this bottom one. Now, my grandmother she probably rolled over when I did that, but I cherish that she's so happy, and I don't know. It just made me very happy. Art journal page. Oh, Opa. And well, that's why I thought maybe that's part of my new transition every now and then, to bring a new medium to y'all, and we'll play with it. So again, I just played. This was playtime. This was at night when I had finished all my lines of transcribing that day, finished my accounts, and I could just do this on the weekend or at night. This one, you make swirls and you journal around the swirls, your feelings, just what your train of thought. You'd be amazed how therapeutic that is, and how if you stand back, it doesn't look like just a regular journal page. It's fun, but you might get in there reading and suddenly find out, oh, she was going through something there, and that's okay. Show us how to do that blue and greenish page. Let me find that. This one is this bluish greenish page. There are a lot of ways. I really would tell y'all to. I played here. This is where I could learn about pastels. I learned how watercolors worked. When you're working on a page, now they're glued together, but I would put a piece of parchment paper between the next two. So I could do anything to this page. I know it is Opa, and like I said, I get a measure of that, and this could help. Mixed media pad to art journal just started in January. Judy, isn't it wonderful? And to know that you don't have to have any special supplies. You don't have to worry about that. Again, a composition book. Take a piece of scrapbook paper, cover the front, put your own pictures on it if you want to, scribble on it. Do like we did as kids on our denim notebooks, and just whatever comes to mind, doodle away. Hey, Becky. That white writing pen did you use on your double? Got it right here. These things, I love them. I just used this white Jelly Roll pen on the black paper I bought for my neurographic art. It's just a reverse. So I did white on black instead of black on white. So yes, these Jelly Roll pens that you can get anywhere are wonderful. These little lines that you see, I dipped my, what did they call those? Tracing wheels. In my sewing kit, I had a tracing wheel. Do y'all know what those are? I used it in home ec. It's that old. So I found that and I thought, wouldn't that make cool lines? So I dipped it in, it was either ink or black acrylic paint, and just rolled it. I'm telling you, get loose, free, have fun. Have a great time with that. Another Project Life. You see all this fun yarn, and this was my bookmark. These are in the, I think, the scrapbooking section at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. They're huge rubber bands, so you can hold your book shut because it's going to get thicker and thicker the more you use it. So you just put a rubber band around it at night and it keeps it smushed down. Isn't that cool, Patricia? Different media. Oh, good, Jennifer. We're going to do that. We're going to do that this year. We really are. So I covered, what I did here is I just picked out pictures. You see, there's Moidle and me right there. There's me and Mr. Tater Buggin. That's my sweet Max, who we lost, how many years ago now? Goodness, I can't remember. My Petey's on the front when he was young. Look, that's before he went gray. Just fun pictures. Just a whole bunch of fun pictures. And I went into one of those photo collage apps and just put them all together. Andrew, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you to send the stars. I appreciate that. All the way from Scotland. So I printed it out on cardstock and just wrapped it around the front of the composition book, just so it wouldn't just look like this. It's part of art. Think of what you want to see on the front of yours. If you could create your own book cover, what would you do? And this is just an old dictionary page. This resonated with me. I saw this image on Pinterest. You'll probably see it on my art journal board, and it says "let go," and it's just a hand letting go of a balloon, and that resonated with me at this time. So I put down an old book page, and then I painted the white in the middle, and I drew what I was seeing on that art journal page that inspired me. Hi, Susie. And it was therapeutic for me. This is another one that I just thought was so much fun, just playing. You saw me do a swirly tree kind of like this just last week with the pistachio shells. And you can't get simpler than a half circle bird, but it was just fun. I had, I think I actually, behind the old book page, which is actually like an encyclopedia page, yeah, I put down just brown craft paper. It was probably a paper sack. Honestly, it was probably a paper sack. And hey, Liz, good evening. I am on there. I think it's Lindy T. Tate on Pinterest, I believe. I have my, Cindy, do I have my Pinterest link? I can't remember. I may in my pinned links. I don't know. I played. I just played here. I don't know where I found these, but I found them funny. They're facial exercises. And so I printed them out and then I tore them. Right, Judy? Yes. I looked for it and I don't know where it is. I actually learned how to make your own art journal out of paper sacks. I did the binding. You wrinkle the pages and then you iron them. I'll have to find that. I'll look that. It's somewhere here. Moidle may know. She may have run across it when we were doing the reorganization. But I would even take scraps of fabric and sew them to the paper sack pages. It's something else. That was my free period of just letting loose, letting myself explore all this different kind of art that I had never heard of. Thank you.
It might be from somebody that's wanting it.
Well, okay.
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 Okay. I'm going to leave it right there.
Okay. And this page, again, I'm not going to take you through every page of every art journal. I just want to inspire you. You know, if any one of these pages inspire you, or if you want to get on Pinterest and get prompts, I think you could probably still Google Project Life, and it may still be out there somewhere. I have done some really fun exercises, I guess you'd call them, on my art journey. And what I found interesting was to do a challenge. After I got past this phase, and that reminds me, I think it's right down here in the bottom drawer. I'll show you another way to do it that's really fun. But I took my a profile picture from Facebook and ran it through one of those photo editor, you know, where it does weird things, and printed it out just for fun. Did you, Barb? Great. Okay. You know, look at this. Look at this monster on a book page. What book page did I mean? And he's on the dictionary page for the plague. I hope I can say that. And look at there. It's the blue bonnet one right there at the top. Elmer's glue, Tammy. Elmer's. I did this on a dime. We did not have a lot of extra money back then, so I just did it. I started with whatever I had or whatever was not expensive. So, okay, now here's one. I guess it was a quote that I found that resonated with me, and I've always loved to play with lettering, even back then. So I was playing with lettering, and I wanted to remind myself that it's okay to fall apart, because that just gives you an opportunity to rebuild yourself. So every now and then I do. And this year so far, those of you who know me know this has been a very challenging year so far, even though we're only in the first part of February. And I have fallen apart again. And I'm now rebuilding. And I may fall apart again soon. I don't know, but we do our best. This is just another one. I did this one horizontally, another composition book. I just was having a ball playing with. Now this one I called it a junk journal. And again, was just playing with, hey Mare, playing with different mediums. I kind of, this one says, if you're not laughing, you're not living. And it's interesting, this little lettering technique, I have a plan soon. I want to do a project with y'all with that. I think you'll enjoy it. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. You know, these are just my reminders. I put a piece of, no, not on this one. This one is actually graph paper composition journal. So I painted these little blocks. And this was me practicing taking a chunk of wood, wrapping yarn around it, doing it in an ink pad, and pressing it down, and trying that out for backgrounds, for textures. So he's good at that, Linda. He really is. Just some pictures that I like that I ran through that funny photo editor. It's an old one. I can't even remember. I think maybe it was called CamWow. So this, I started going over into these pages and learning how to use gesso on these to prep your pages. I don't use a lot of gesso now on canvases because most of them come primed, and I just don't feel the need to waste gesso doing that. But if you art journal in a book like this, you're gonna love gesso. It primes the page so that it'll better accept what medium you're going to use on it. So first you're gluing the pages together. I personally found the process of prepping the pages therapeutic. I just enjoyed it. It was new to me. Amanda, these are so much a part of my journey now that I can't, these are like a part of me. There's so much of me, and it was such a transition period. I don't think I'll ever get rid of these. And again, when I did them, I told myself, nobody's ever going to see these. Doesn't matter what you do. And then you have to do that, or you won't just be free, you know. This is a copy of a letter that my dad wrote to his sister, my aunt who lived in Mobile. He spent every summer with her. I've talked to y'all about, you know, we have a sweet tater bug who lives in Fairhope. My dad spent a lot of time in the summers in Fairhope, but my aunt would take him over there to her sister-in-law's house. They had a house on the bay. It was such a special place for my dad that when he was near death with Guillain-Barré syndrome in his 20s and in an iron lung, he hallucinated that he was in Point Clear and Fairhope. He loved it that much. Well, he was writing to his sister, my aunt, when he was just a kid. And so I blew it up and I printed it out. There's I kind of, what's it called? You know, when you, I know the opacity. You know, I just turned the opacity down in the picture of my dad with his favorite dog from childhood, Danny Boy, and put it behind his letter. This is so special to me. And he was, his spelling, you know, school wasn't his favorite thing. So anyway, that I chose to do that. These are this is some of the wax paper I would put between the pages as I prepped them. So it's fun for me to sometimes pull these out and go way back like that. But then, because of Pinterest, I learned that you can take an old book. This is an old grammar book. I told y'all I've been crazy about, please show the falling apart quote again. I sure will. Let me find that. It's in this one, I believe. Real quick, y'all bear with me. I want to do that for Opa. Or Opa, you know what, girlfriend? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll find that. I'll take a picture of it and I will message that to you. How about that when we're done? So let me show you. I would go to antique malls with Moidle. We'd go to estate sales, yard sales, thrift stores, and I gravitated towards the old books, always. And I didn't know why at the time, but they came in handy when I decided to do this. This is an old grade school grammar book. I didn't want to cover up this. It's from, well, the first person who had it in 1966. Last person who had this was in 1970. Let me show you some of the pages that I haven't covered up. This will take you back. So it's a book like this. And I wanted to turn it into, I loved this book. I don't know why, I loved this book. And so I wanted to turn it into my own art journal. This is scrapbook paper. Scrapbook paper. And then this is, the binding was in sad shape to Moidle and me. Okay, I sure will. I sure will. I need to be looking down more to see if y'all have, oh, okay. Is that right, Lori? So, glue sticks are good too. Okay. And Teresa West. I tell you what, I will take a picture of it and I will post it either on my business page or in the Tater Bug and Sweet Tater Bugs group. How about that? Maybe both. You're right, Mayor. There's always one book that no one returned, and I'm so thankful I got this one. Teresa, yeah, I'm just going to post it so everybody can have it. It's a good one. It helped me a lot. This is a scrap of black fabric. You can kind of see a little bit how it's frayed. It's not cut, perfectly, and it's Mod Podged to the, in fact, I don't think I even splurged for Mod Podge back then, y'all. I think I mixed Elmer's glue with water, and that works fine. Yes, I sure will, Sherry. I would love to. I'll do that. I'm going to post that for y'all. So you can just mix up some Elmer's glue, that plain white Elmer's glue, and water. And I just soaked that fabric in it and put it over the spine of the book. And you see it's still here. It's still working great. And I learned how to prep the pages again like I did. I prepped these pages like I did the ones in these composition books. Now this was where I just really started exploring, and I would decide, it showed me which mediums I liked, which ones I wasn't drawn to. Yeah, Dollar Tree glue is great. Dollar Tree glue sticks are really good. And how many are in that package? What, 5? Becky, where do you start? I'm going to find some places and I'm going to post them for y'all. I'm going to try to go back and see where I started, because I think they're on Pinterest. Let me do some digging, because I'm excited that y'all might want to do this. What I did on this, again, first page, I'm playing with lettering. I still love lettering, and I enjoy it so much. Yeah, you can use a hardback book at Dollar Tree. You don't even have to, you go to the thrift store, go to Dollar Tree, just get a book that you're not going to worry about, and you can just do anything with. Opa, do it. Try it out. If you need to start, go to Amazon. Get this. I know it can be very expensive because I had no money to be throwing away on stuff like this back then. Well, no, I'm talking about Dollar Tree glue sticks I wouldn't do them for this. No, I would use them there are certain projects in crafts that they work really well with, but no, I used Elmer's glue here, or probably my Elmer's glue and water. What I did on this first page, I didn't glue them together. I took these first two pages, my embroidery floss, and I sewed them together by hand. Do you see the stitching? Now, who's done that before? I just started at the spine and I stitched all the way around 2 pages together. So you'll see it on the other side. And then I looked for images that, it's hard to explain. Do you ever thumb through Pinterest and you just see something that really resonates with you? Rita, all different things. Gesso, yes, if that's what you're talking about, gesso. Now, and did I gesso these? It's hard to tell on these. I may or may not have. I was playing with pastels and lettering on these 2. And again, I sewed these 2 pages together too. So you can do that. Yes, absolutely. Use this as a prayer journal. It doesn't have to be an art journal. All I'm saying is let yourself go. Whatever sparks that that feeling, it's a feeling inside of you. When I see an image that I want to recreate, or that makes me feel good, or I love the colors, there's always something about that image that intrigues me and makes me want to try it. So I was free to do that in this book. I'm not selling anything. This was all just for me. And so this was weird. On this grammar book page, they had this recipe for popcorn balls. And I just thought it was so cute, the way it was written and everything. And so I just prepped the pages, but I left that on there. It's whatever you want to do. And the heading on that grammar page was listening to directions. This sheet has tissue paper. And of course it's wrinkly, and you want it to be wrinkly. And I let it hang off the edges. I didn't cut it flush with the edge. And then I coated it with, I think they're pastels. I believe they are. So I was playing with texture, how to make different textures there. I was sick this week that I journaled. And this is what I did. I don't know if this is what happened. I wrote down, I've been sick for 2 weeks, 4 doctor's appointments, tests, medications, had a drug reaction. It was not fun. And I played with the salt in watercolor. Okay, this one is very personal. Again, did not think anybody would ever see it, but I don't care. If it helps somebody, I'm great with that. I did this. This was on the page already. I just left it there. I did this is kind of a self-portrait that I just drew out. But what I did here, and I think this was an exercise, I believe it was. I had journaled on the page first, my feelings. I don't even know what it says. It was probably during one of my tough times with anxiety. And so I cut out of my journal where I'd written my feelings, the shape of my face, and then I painted around it. Hey, Lynn. I had found, I'll just read it to you. And I wrote it here, and I put it on here, and this is the reason why I left that Japanese on this grammar page that just happened to be in this book. The Japanese have a custom. When a piece of pottery is broken, it is glued back together. The crack is highlighted with gold and considered beautiful. I've painted that several different ways because I had always seen me breaking as weakness, and I didn't like it, and I was ashamed of it. This showed me that happens and allows you to build back stronger and more beautiful because you went through it. And if I can share that with somebody and it resonates with somebody who might need it right now or in the future, I'm happy to share that. So these I just let loose. This was a coffee filter. I was playing with the magic marker and I believe water or alcohol. I can't remember, but it was so much fun to do. So I did a few of those. I have fabric adhered to some of these pages. This is my favorite art journal page ever. Yes, absolutely, Lee. Beauty from ashes. Come back stronger than you were before. You learn through those hard times. All of this was a hard time for me, but it helped me so much. And I love going back to this and thinking about where I was and that I did not know what God had for me back then and how awesome it was going to be. And I have all of you now for it. But let me just show you Oh, wow. I still love this one so much. First of all, let's look at this page. I cut out a skirt, a top, painted the girl. I wasn't trying to do it, but the very first time Moidle saw this page, she said, "That's me." And I looked at it, and lo and behold, it was. And that was so cool. That was not my intention, but it turned out that way, and I love it. I painted her boots, and then I took embroidery thread down here, and I sewed the texture, I'm backwards, on her boots, like they're laced. And then that day, what was given to me, I know by God, said God will provide the escape. Boy, I did not know back then the escape he had for me. And I was right on the precipice of it and didn't know it. And I mean, I wasn't young. I was, my kids were almost grown and just about out of the house. And, here we are. So on this page, I had cut up another page, adhered the squares because it forms a texture and an interesting background. And then I distressed around the edges. I think it was pastels around the edges of each block. This is a picture of another aunt, a different aunt, my Aunt Dorothy. She and Aunt Doris always made me laugh. They were hilarious, so funny together. And long after my daddy died, they came over to the house. My cousin and those two aunts came over to see me and my mother and brought a tin full of old photos. And I'm crazy about old family photos. And they let me borrow it and look through them and make copies. This was one of those photo booths. When she was a teenager, she had gotten in one of those photo booths. And this was so like her. That funny, carefree, happy face. And so I just printed it out small. And I put it on black cardstock. I braided some thread, stapled it to the sheet. It's just stapled right onto the page. And I found this in a book. It says Wake Up and Live. And I stuck it to the page. These are my favorite. This is my favorite page that I ever did. So it just goes on to, well, I made there's a lot of interesting things. I took an old dress pattern and with Mod Podge or glue, I formed it into a dress and put it on a book page. You can, I played with this one, putting my uncle gave me, he's a watch and clock repairman, has been forever, and he had given me some watch parts. I added those. I put a torn up grocery sack on this one, and I actually had sewn some pretty fabric into vellum and adhered those to the pages. And this was another quote that resonated with me. Worrying, this is Corrie ten Boom, so you know it's good. Worrying is carrying tomorrow's load with today's strength, carrying 2 days at once. It's moving into tomorrow ahead of time. Worrying doesn't empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength. I was a big worrier. So, Caroline, you're sweet to say that. But I started this with no talent. I swore I could not draw. And I probably wouldn't have if I hadn't felt so free to do it this way first. I don't think I would have gone that step ahead to go take a paint party class like I did, because even then I told my friend who invited me, I said, well, they better have a stencil because I can't paint. I'm not artistic. And look where I am now. I mean, I'm having a ball. Whether I'm good or not is everybody else's opinion. Art is subjective. What is awesome to one person may be utter trash to somebody else. But that's what's cool about art. It's the whole beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know, that's what it's all about. So I played with this. This is fabric adhered to this page. And I just doodled myself with a big old coffee mug. Y'all know I love coffee. And I was free to do that because I didn't think anybody'd see it. So is it weird that watching this makes my heart light? Like a very light feeling is... I need to just sit in that comment for just a minute, Debbie. That's everything. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. And I'm not crying because I've done enough of that. Oh, that makes me happy. That is what makes me happy. That's what I'm talking about. I could get on Pinterest for hours and look at art journal pages, and it made me feel light and hopeful. And is there a possibility I could recreate that somehow? There were no rules. There was nobody telling me how to do it. There was no tutorial. I was just looking at it and thinking about how I wanted to make that happen in a way, shape, or form. Mine might not have looked, you know, anything like what inspired me, but that's what's cool. It comes out of you. So that's why I think you need to explore art journaling on Pinterest. You will find so much inspiration there. So again, I had done y'all help me out. Which class was it where the bonus video I showed my art journals? I can't remember now, but I think it was the mixed media class. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. Maybe. Was it? Yeah. So I decided to get back into this. I had not looked at my art journal in months, maybe years. And so I did this page. This was within the past year. And there are napkins, decoupage to this page. There's pastels. There's acrylics. And when I finished it, I thought, that's not great, Lindy. I don't care. I had fun. It doesn't matter if I like it and it was good or not. I just let loose and had fun one day. I let myself play again. I don't let myself play much anymore. And I think that's part of my problem lately. As I would try to come up with something for the live, there wasn't I have a lot of crafts planned, a lot. But as I go back over my notes, none of them were exciting me. And I told myself I was not going to go live with y'all and bring something that wasn't exciting to me because it wouldn't come across as good as it should. So that's when I started, finding these other things. Let's experience a new medium. Let's talk about neurographic art. And it was, and I froze. I'm very sorry. I got to get off of here anyway. I've talked to y'all to death. This is the beginning of, if this at all interested you, we're going to go in a whole different path on Thursday where I actually tell you start to finish what got me started in an online business and where I am right now and all the steps in between. It's been a journey, and oh, Inga, I'm so glad. Your first time here, and this is really different than what I usually do, and I thank you for hanging with me. Expression, let me get back to that. Just let it roll. It's not about visual perfection. It's about personal expression, and we're all perfectly ourselves. Sherry, I love that. And we're all perfectly imperfect. It's okay to be imperfect. That's what makes us unique and ourselves. Oh, thank you, Lee. Oh, thank you so much. Y'all are so sweet to hang with me today. And I'm gonna go through with Thursday, and I'm gonna have an outline so I kind of stay on track. And I want you to ask questions. I'm gonna try to really hone in on the high spots for you and answer questions. So, Bible journaling. I did go into Bible journaling as well, Lisa. That's awesome. There are special Bibles that you journal in like this, you know, where you're really watercoloring over the whole page and you're illustrating a scripture. It's awesome. It's so much fun. Oh, Janice, I'm so thankful to hear that. I'm so glad. Okay, Sharon, please do. I will take a picture of the quote that y'all wanted about falling apart. If there's anything else that you need or want me to share, again, let me know. I've pretty much decided to be an open book. I'm very transparent with y'all. I'll continue to be that way. But we're just going to take a little detour for a while with Lindy on her lives and explore art a little bit more because it's feeding my soul right now. My soul needs that. I love crafting, but right now I'm shifting back into my art. And let's see where that goes and what y'all think about that, okay? But thanks for hanging with me. I love y'all so much. You touch my heart every time I'm with you, and even when I'm not, you send me these glorious messages. Thank you. Listen, all these mugs, we're gonna have them on display right back here. Oh, and Angel, this is our monthly paint party. We're doing the Angel. You can sign up for her whenever. She's in our shop. Did I miss anything? Does anybody want to ask me anything real quick before I go? Judy, thank you for those stars. Oh, Lori, so far it's just great, and you know, now my husband's in on it, and now my son's in on it, and if my son from Colorado ever gets back into town, I got to get him on here. But he's a little more serious. He's very smart and serious, but he's a joy. All right, thank y'all for sharing, and I'm gonna see you again Thursday at 4, and we're just gonna sit down and talk about it all. Love y'all. Bye. Have a great evening.